Was good, Not a Dream family? We back at it, episode 47 of the Not a Dream journey. My name is Julian Taliaferro. Y'all know we coming again with another weekly business update, lessons for the week, and topic for the day, which is decision. And this is a pivotal episode because it's been a full year since August 1st, 2022, and that was the day I made the decision to be an entrepreneur. That was the day that my trajectory in life had changed. So that's what this topic is going to be about. It's going to revolve around me making that decision, and we'll get into it more later in the episode. But with that out the way, I can now get into my quote for this week, which is, happiness is abundant by design, scarce by luck. And the quote is from Ben Meir. And I think what Ben is trying to say is just that happiness isn't going to just come to you. You have to make room for it. You have to plan for it. But when you do, happiness will be plentiful. And again, the quote is, happiness is abundant by design, scarce by luck, from Ben Meir. And now I can get to my business update. And it's just been more continued work on the startup. And it's interesting because I was thinking the other day about how when I have been working on my startup, I've been working somewhat in a vacuum, and it's hard to tell how much information I've been able to digest when it comes to industry research or, business models of competitors or, my own business model, how I want to approach and let's say my competitive strategy and advantages. But I ended up having a conversation maybe around last week or a couple of days ago, and it kind of illuminated my eyes to just say that I am making progress. The way I was comfortable in that conversation, the way I was able to explain my competitors' strategies, what they did, who is the leader in the industry, different types of competitors that I have, it was just good for me to see that I am digesting this information and that I am growing slowly but surely, and it's paying off. So that's my business update. And now I can get into my lesson for the week or lessons of the week, and I have two of them. And the first one is just that sometimes life is a priority. I know sometimes we can get caught up in thinking that, let's say, our work is senior to our life or it takes priority, but that's not always the case. Sometimes life does take that forefront role, and you have to be fine with that. And that's okay, because life is just as essential as your work. It's just as important. Sometimes it's even more important. And you have to get things straightened out in that area of your life as well. So that's the first lesson. And the second lesson is just don't be fearful of acceleration. This is definitely a lesson for me, just because I feel like there is some sort of apprehensiveness inside of me to accelerate into my startup and to move faster because I don't know if I'm capable of it. Of course, I'm confident in myself, and I know that God is going to give me strength in my endeavor, but you'll always have some sort of doubt. So this is a reminder to myself to not be fearful of the acceleration, no matter how fast this may go. If it goes fast, no matter how fast I may grow as well in the business, I should be okay with that, and I'll be able to handle it and withstand it. So those are the two lessons for the week. The first one is sometimes life is a priority, and the second one is don't be fearful of acceleration. So with that and those two sections done, I can now get into my topic, which is decision. And it's funny because when it passed August 1st, 2023, and it's been a whole year since I made the decision, I didn't even realize it. And I think it was on August 3rd or August 4th that I realized that it's been a whole year. And it was just amazing to think about, and about how far I've came and how much I've changed. And when I made that decision after a tumultuous time period after COVID-19, and I told myself that I was going to chase my dreams, I was going to chase my ambitions, I never have looked back ever since then. And when I look back and think about how far I've came in this past year, how I started off with a comic strip on Instagram to then an Amazon FBA attempt, to then pitching my startup at a school event, to then being in a Miami startup program, to now be in San Antonio working on my startup at a co-working space, in a startup ecosystem. It's amazing to see how in my mind when I was doing my comic strip, I treated it like it was a Fortune 500 business. So that's a lesson in of itself right there, how whatever you do, you have to be just as confident, just as passionate, and as serious about it. Thinking about my episode series, how I started off with that first episode on the computer with my AirPods in, quality horrible, for me to now be on my 47th episode and weekly update with monthly book episodes sprinkled in, for me to have read 47 books this past year. 47. The amount of knowledge that I've gained, the amount of information that I've listened to when it comes to how many videos I watched in personal development, how many fireside chats, how many speeches, how many lectures, how many podcasts. I can't even quantify all the information that I've gained. And even more, when in the beginning of my journey, when I walked in and walked right out of a networking event because I was so uncomfortable, to now really enjoying networking events and meeting people and talking to people, just about how my mindset has grown, how mentally and spiritually I've grown and changed. It, I'm at a loss for adjectives. All I can really say is just that it's so amazing. And when I think about the beginning in this past year, as I said a little bit earlier in the episode, this really is just the baseline. This is me setting the background. This is me setting the groundwork of my future. If anything, I'm thinking of these first 5 years in entrepreneurship as just the groundwork. And if this is the first year, what is the second year going to look like? What is the fifth year going to look like? At a minimum, I will get better. I can only get smarter. I can only get more dedicated. I can only improve. I can only get more personable. I can only become a better communicator. And I keep going back and thinking about a quote that I believe I stated in a previous episode. And it goes that time's going to pass anyway. So why not do something with it? Why not use the time to unlock your potential? Why not at least make an attempt? At a minimum, why not make an attempt? And all this happened in the past year because I made a decision. I made a decision to be an entrepreneur. I made a decision to be successful. I made a decision to be focused. I made a decision to grow and develop. I made a decision to be more. And that's really the reality of it. I made a decision to be more. So that's my topic, and that's all I have for this episode. So next steps for me are just to keep being consistent and trying to work on my startup and keep trying to grow and grind. So that's it. And all right, let's get it, y'all. Go and achieve y'all 99 dream. And it's 99 dream because you are going to achieve your dream. And it would be 100%, but nothing is perfect. So you're going to achieve 99% of that. And let's go and let's get it.